So now the ordinance making power of the president, right? Let us start with this is very important topic and this is frequently asked in the UPSC exams. Why? Because ordinance making or the word ordinance means a temporary law, right? Ordinance literally means a temporary law. And these are the laws, like you guys generally know that law making procedure is under the union legislature and there is a fixed procedure. Like a bill has to be presented in any house of the parliament, be it Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, it has to be passed by that house, it is given to the next house, it has to be passed by that house, then it goes to the president signs it, and then it becomes a law. But there are situations when ordinance or certain laws are required which has to be made very fast or very swiftly. Like, let me give you an example. Like, if China attacks India and there is a law to mobilize our armed forces or to make a road, for example, in Uttarakhand or Ladakh region, then the government cannot wait for the entire parliamentary procedure. They can simply issue an ordinance which has the same power as a temporary law or a law created by the parliament, and this is exclusively done by the government of India and there is a presidential sign on the ordinance. But formally the ordinance is issued by the president, right? He is a nominal head, so it is issued in his name. So the article which deals with the ordinance is Article 1, 2, 3. Very simple to remember, Article 1, 2, 3. At the end of this chapter, I will particularly tell you which all articles are important regarding the President of India. But for now, ordinance Article 1, 2, 3, right? Conditions, right? An ordinance is issued regarding all the subjects which are included in the union list, right? What is union list? Very simple. There are so many subjects on which governance is required. Like there is law and order, there is external affairs, there is communication, defense, money, banking, etc. But all these various functions of the government are distributed in the constitution in three lists, which are union list, the state list, and finally concurrent list, right? The subjects which are mentioned in the union list, the laws on this can only be made by the government of India or the union government. The subjects which are mentioned in the state list, the laws regarding to them can only be made by the governments of particular states. And in the concurrent list, both the government of India and the government of states can make laws. We will discuss in detail about all the subjects or which subjects are mentioned in each and every list in the center-state relations chapter. But for now, this much is necessary, that the functions of the government are distributed into three subtypes: union list, state list, and the concurrent list. And the ordinance by the president could be made on any subject which is mentioned in the union list of the functions or union list in the constitution. For example, in the union list, banking is mentioned, defense is mentioned. Generally, those subjects are mentioned in the union list which are important for the entire nation or which are uniform in the entire nation, right? Banking should be uniform in the entire nation. Like in Gujarat, there is different banking system. In Karnataka, there is different banking system. That won't be very good for the economy of the country. So the subjects which require a uniformity throughout the entire country is generally located in the union list. Right? What is the effect? As we have discussed, it is same as the law of the parliament, right? Temporary law. Now, a very important thing, when a general law is formed by the Parliament of India, many of times you must have read in the newspaper or seen in the news, the Supreme Court will come out of nowhere and they will declare the law as void, right? They will say that this law is unconstitutional, this law is not according to the rules of the constitution, etc. Then they will declare it void. These are general laws which are enacted by the parliament, but can the Supreme Court do same for a particular ordinance? The answer is yes, right? Here you need to remember two important cases. First is the DEC Vadhwa case, right? And the second is the Krishna Kumar case. Right? So in the DC Vadhva case and the Krishna Kumar case, this was recently held in 2017. In both the cases, the Supreme Court has said that Supreme Court has all the rights to declare a particular ordinance as null and void if it is unconstitutional or it violates any provision of the Constitution, right? So the Supreme Court has given itself the right also to judicially review the ordinance making power of the government by these following two cases, DC Vadhva case and the Krishna Kumar case. And particularly in the DC Vadhva case, the Supreme Court says that re-promulgation of ordinance is violation of Constitution, right? Let me explain to you this in detail. See, when the President or the Government of India issues an ordinance, they are essentially circumventing the powers of the Parliament, right? It is very logical to understand that when you are taking a shortcut, you are generally circumventing or you are generally skipping the entire procedure required for a particular function. So when the Union government makes a particular ordinance, then they are circumventing the power of the Parliament, and the Government of India on itself makes laws. Or according to the theory of separation of powers, the executive starts acting as the legislature, and which is very much against the doctrine of checks and balances. So re-promulgating ordinance or always using ordinance or most of the times using ordinance as the way to make laws is very much wrong, which was declared by the Supreme Court in the DC Vadhva case. And it is very much right on the part of Supreme Court to say that. Why? Because as we discussed, that whenever the government uses the path of the ordinance, it circumvents the power of the Parliament and in turn the will of the people. We all elect all the MPs of the Parliament. So when the decision is taken collectively by the Parliament and a law is made, then it is very much accepted by the public. But when the government resorts to ordinance making powers, then it entirely circumvents the public decision, right? The same in the current affairs, if we relate, the same issue was with the three farm laws, right? All the three farm laws were brought into by ordinances by the Government of India initially. Then there was large scale protest, and then even in the Parliament they were rushed through. So one of the factors why these three farm bills were not accepted by the particular farmers, etc., was because they were not deliberately debated in the Parliament. They were not particularly considered by the Parliament, and they were passed by a very shortcut route of ordinance. So it was very much unacceptable to the people. So the Supreme Court is right that re-promulgating or when you keep on promulgating ordinance, it is very wrong, and it is encroaching on the legislative function of the Parliament, right? Another example is in Bihar, 260 plus ordinances were issued by a particular government, and these ordinances continued, rechanged for 14 long years. So you can imagine that the Bihar Legislative Assembly was badly circumvented by the government, and all the legislative powers were concentrated in the government of Bihar. So this is very wrong, and this is very contrary to the theory of separation of power and good governance, right? So in the Constitution, when you promulgate an ordinance, when you can promulgate the ordinance, that is also very interesting. When both the houses are in session, right? Recently or right now, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha till recent were functioning, and there was a session going on of both the houses of the Parliament. Look, Rajya Sabha is a permanent house, so it cannot be dissolved anytime. But Lok Sabha meets thrice in a year, and when both the houses are in function, ordinances cannot be promulgated, right? This is very logical on the part of the constitution makers, that when two houses are functioning, what is the need to promulgate an ordinance, right? So when both the houses are in session, the government cannot promulgate an ordinance. But when any of the house, generally when Lok Sabha is not in session, then any of the house, mark my words, not both the houses, but when any of the house is not in session, the government can promulgate an ordinance, right? So this is very simple to understand. When any of the house, either Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha, is on a vacation or when they are not on a session, in simple language, then ordinance can be promulgated. But a very interesting thing is approval of the ordinance by the parliament, right? Every 6 months, an ordinance remains in force only for 6 months, and after 6 months, when the parliament session is on, right, then the government of India has to put a bill with the same content as the ordinance, and they have to get it passed by the parliament. Then and then the ordinance can be continued, right? Maximum duration of the ordinance, as I said, 6 months, right? Plus 2 weeks. The parliament has 2 weeks to decide on whether to continue the ordinance or whether to not continue with it, right? Generally. So this is in short about the ordinance making power of the President of India. Thank you.